Welcome to NetFit.tv. We're here to help motivate and dedicate you to living a healthy and vibrant lifestyle. My name is Chelsea and I'll be leading today's power yoga practice. On my left is Carl and on my right is Carl. So please just use any kind of modifications or variations throughout these poses. You're working at your own pace. We're going to be exercising flexibility, mind as well as body. So let's just see where our practice takes us and just find that alignment connecting with your breath. So we'll begin with a twist. By stretching your left leg straight out in front of you, you can bring your right knee in toward the chest. When you find this place, find the spine really reaching up toward the sky. Your left heel is pressing forward as the shoulders slide down the back. The next time that you breathe in, you can allow your right arm to lift in front of you. Exhaling it behind the back. Find length through the top of the head, and then as you exhale, you can begin twisting. Waist, ribs, shoulder, chin, eyes. See if you can breathe in and sit a little taller without forcing your body into it. See if you can exhale and just relax that right shoulder open. Stay in the twist and just turn your chin toward the left shoulder. And the next time you breathe in, slowly unwinding back to center. Let's extend that right leg. The hands alongside of your hips as the crown presses up. Breathe in across your chest. And as you breathe out, you can begin to hinge, even sliding the hands down toward the ankles. Now, when you're in this pose, you can always use a strap around the feet if it helps to deepen the posture. You can also soften the knees, and remember, your hips can be padded. Feel the release as you exhale, and as you breathe in, lift your head, your chest sitting all the way up, bringing that left knee toward the heart. Hugging it in as you sit up really tall, continuing to reach through the right heel. Let's inhale the left arm in front of you and exhale, sweeping that left arm around behind the back. Fingertips grounded, left elbow soft. Breathe in and finally. And as you breathe out, begin twisting toward the left side. You can adjust that right arm on the left knee as needed. Where does the body want to go? Find length as you breathe in and relax that left shoulder open as you breathe out. Staying in the twist, just turn your chin toward the right shoulder. When you find this place, take a deep breath, and then you can allow the body, the torso to unwind. You're always moving slowly at your own pace. You can stay longer. You can move out a little sooner if you'd like. Let's extend that left leg once again. Hands alongside of the hips. Use the core to sit up tall, reaching through the heels. Inhaling the arms alongside of the ears. Keep the shoulders relaxed down. And as you exhale, you can hinge. Try to keep the arms alongside of the ears or parallel with the floor. The heart is open as the tailbone is grounded. Exhale and round down. Feel the crown press toward the toes as the tailbone stays, pressing down into the earth. Let's go ahead and reverse out, looking up at the toes as you breathe in, rolling the shoulders open, using the abdominal muscles. Let's bring both knees in toward the chest, and then allowing both of the knees to relax out to the sides. The soles of the feet are touching as you hold the ankles, the shins, or the calves. When you're ready, begin to sit up tall. Feel the shoulders press down. A bound angle pose. Try and really relax the inner thighs as if the knees are growing heavier and heavier. And as you exhale, begin to hinge. Now you can stay and hang out here in this pose, pressing the heart forward and the tailbone down. If you want to fold down, you can, rounding over the legs. You're doing a wonderful job. Just notice your breath. The softer you can allow the body to be in the pose while breathing deeply and keeping that core engaged, the more results you'll find with flexibility. So as you breathe in, lift the head, the chest, rolling the shoulders open. Let's bring the knees toward one another. extending your legs straight back out in front of you once again. Let's bring the hands to the floor behind you. The fingers are pointing toward your hips. Now, the first time we move into this posture, just roll your shoulders open, pressing the shoulder blades toward one another. You'll feel a nice stretch along the forearms. And then just relax a little. Feel the shoulders round forward, the chin can tuck in toward the chest. We're going to go a step further, so point through your toes, using your core. And as you breathe in, pressing the hips toward the sky in this reverse plank pose. Maybe you stay and hang out here 2 or 3 breaths. Remember, you don't have to lift your hips away from the floor if you don't want to. Take an inhale, and as you exhale, slowly lowering your hips back down to the floor, reaching through the heels, and let's just gently drape the body over the legs. We're going to move into a little twist here. So stay hinged over, but lift your head and your chest a little away from your legs. We're going to place the left hand on the outside of the right foot. We're going to bring the right hand to the sacrum. Now, using your core, as you begin to sit up, let the right leg float away from the floor. As you exhale, begin to roll that right shoulder open, turning the chin toward it. And if you want to go a step further, you can reach that right hand behind you. See if you can open your chest. Take another deep in-breath. And as you exhale, let's turn to face that right leg. What if you wrap your hands around that right ankle and pull that leg just a little closer? The more you reach through the heel rather than the toes, the stronger the stretch will be on the hamstring. And then we'll lower that right foot to the floor, ending up in a forward bend. Let's do the other side. Placing the right hand on the outside of the left foot, the left hand coming to the sacrum. Using your core as you breathe in, let's lift that left leg away. If you can't lift the leg away, maybe you just stay hinged over on that side. You can exhale and roll that left shoulder open. You can extend the left hand behind you. See if you can open the chest. Make sure your core is engaged and you're breathing. Flexibility of the mind and the body. Let's exhale, closing forward as each hand holds that left ankle. And maybe you pull that left leg a little closer toward your chest. Press the shoulders down. It's not how far you go, it's the sensations you feel. Breathe in, and as you breathe out, slowly lowering that left foot to the floor, rounding over the legs. Okay, we're going to inhale and lift the head and the chest. We're about to transition up to standing. So you can bring the knees forward, ending up in a little squat. And then lifting the hips high so that you come into the forward bend. Softly gazing down at the toes, making sure the toes are facing forward and the heels are grounded. And as you breathe in, you can lift your head, your chest, sweeping the arms up toward the sky. As you exhale, let's visit chair pose. All right, relax your shoulders. Keep the core engaged. We're going to stay here a little bit. Let's just bring the arms alongside of the ears. And as you exhale, sweep the hands behind you like you're doing a ski jump. Stay in the squat as you lift just the arms alongside of the ears. 2 more times. Exhale, hinging, sweeping the arms behind you. Inhale, lifting the chest and the arms alongside of the ears. You can continue moving in and out if you'd like. If you've had enough, you can inhale and press right up into the mountain pose and release the hands to your heart. We're about to move into some wide angle postures. You really want to have a grip with the feet, noticing how you feel on all 4 corners of the feet. So let's go ahead and step out wide. When you find this place, lifting the arms out into a T position. This is 5-pointed star. As you exhale, let's hinge, folding forward. Rounding all the way down. If you want to hold the ankles, you can. Rather than gazing at the floor, can you look toward the wall behind you? Pressing the crown toward the floor. A nice back release, a nice inner groin stretch. Let's go ahead and lead with your chest, coming back into 5-pointed star. Okay, we're about to move into a wide angle twist. You only move as far as you'd like. So first, let's bring that right hand to the sacrum. We're going to leave your feet the way they are, and we're going to bring that left hand around to place it either on the outside of the right foot. If the body says no, let it be on the inside of the foot. Now, flattening out the back, reaching through the crown. Exhale and begin to roll that right shoulder open. You can turn the chin toward it. If you would like to lift the right hand toward the sky, you can. Feel that shoulder, how it rolls open and sets into the joint. And finally, one more breath, whether you're gazing up or gazing down. When you're ready to come back up into 5-pointed star, on the inhale, use the core to bring the hands back at a T position. Let's do the same on the other side. You can bring your left hand to the sacrum. You can bring your right hand to the outside of the left foot. Flattening out the spine, you can exhale, beginning to roll that left shoulder open, turning the chin toward it. You can even inhale that left hand toward the sky, feeling the openness as you breathe, twisting through without pushing. Take one more breath. And when you're ready, on the inhale, you can come all the way back up into 5-pointed star. Now let's turn your toes out at a 45-degree angle. And as you exhale, bending both knees, allowing the palms to face the ears. Press your elbows back. Your elbows are bent. The abdominals are squeezed in. Let's inhale back up, straightening the arms, straightening the legs. Let's do that 3 more times. Exhale, slowly releasing down into goddess, pressing the elbows open. Inhaling back up into 5-pointed star. Twice more. Exhaling down into the pose. If you ever want to stay in the posture, you can. You can even try to lift your heels a little way. You can even tilt a little side to side. The last time that you move out of the pose, coming back up into 5-pointed star, turning the toes forward, and let's once again hinge and fold into a wide angle forward bend. Feel the release. And then we'll inhale, coming back up into 5-pointed star. We're moving into Trikonasana. Only go as far as you'd like. Remember, it's not a goal to try and reach that hand to the floor. So turn your right toes at a 90-degree angle. Allow your left heel to move out to the side. And as you breathe in, reach a little with that right hand. And as you exhale, bring that right hand in front of the right calf, the left hand toward the sky. You can gaze up toward the sky. You can gaze down toward the right big toe. Most important is that that left shoulder and that left hip is rolled open. One more breath. And when you're ready to come out, let's inhale up into Virabhadrasana 2, or Warrior 2. So you can bend that forward knee, arms parallel with the floor, shoulders relaxed. All right, let's do the other side. So the next time that you breathe in, coming back up into 5-pointed star. Let's go ahead and release the hands down for just a moment. Sometimes they get tired. And we'll turn your left toes at a 90-degree angle. The right heel out. Remember, your legs can even be closer. You can place your hand on a support like a chair or a block if needed. Now let's inhale the arms up to a T position, reaching a little with that left hand. And then you can exhale, bringing it in front of the left calf, the right hand toward the sky. You're not trying to bring that right hand too far back. It's as if you could reach the ceiling, the sky, and that left hand toward the floor, but doesn't have to touch the floor. You're actually using more muscles whenever it's elevated. Take one more breath, and then we'll find Warrior 2. So you can always inhale up, bending that forward knee, the knee not coming past the toes, the shoulders relaxed. And when you're ready, we're going to straighten that forward leg, turning the toes forward. And then we're going to close at the top of the mat in mountain pose. Coming up, a gentle back arch. Exhale and dive down into the forward bend. The hands can come to the floor, and you can either hop or step the feet back into plank position. Upward push-up pose. Now we're going to scoop into upward facing dog. Bending the elbows, the crown reaching toward the sky. The heels of the hands are directly under the shoulders as the shoulders roll open. Let's tuck the toes under, and as you exhale, lift the hips high into downward facing dog. Feeling the ears between the arms. Whether the heels actually touch the floor or not doesn't matter. Breathe in, and as you breathe out, let's find tabletop position. When you find tabletop pose, you might even want to pad your knees. It's a little safer on your knees, and we're about to move into an asymmetrical balance. Trust me, it's much easier than symmetrically. So first, gazing down at the floor, you are going to begin to move the weight into your left hand and your right knee. As you breathe in, let's lift that right arm and the left leg. The arm and the leg is parallel with the floor. It's not about how high you lift. It's about keeping the shoulders and the hips square to the floor with the core engaged. Now let's exhale that left heel toward the buttocks. You can reach that right hand around to hold the left ankle. If this is as far as you go, hang out here. If you want to lift a little further, that heel can lift toward the sky. Your heart is open. The back of the neck is long. Take an inhale. And as you exhale, gently releasing, coming back into tabletop pose. Moving the weight into the right hand and the left knee. You can inhale, extending through the left arm and the right leg. You can always exhale that right heel toward the buttocks, reaching that left hand around to find that ankle. Using your abdominal muscles, you can lift and you can open a little more. Finally, through the neck, keeping your core engaged as to not overflex the lower back. Breathe in, and as you breathe out, bringing the hand and the knee back to the floor. Now, what if you just take an in-breath and allow just your heart and your chin to come to the floor? Can you feel those biceps and triceps? All right, let's press back up, tuck the toes under, and lift the hips high into downward facing dog. We're about to move into rocking prayer. So let's bring the knees back to the floor, coming up to standing on the knees. Now, you don't want to go too far into this posture. This is all about strengthening and building flexibility within the quadriceps. Remember, flexibility of the mind and the body. Knowing that if you go too far, you'll push past your edge. So take a nice deep inhale here. And as you exhale, leaning back a little, keep the core strong, inhaling forward. You might be at a different pace than us. Continue, because you're doing a great job. Exhaling back and inhaling forward. Let's do it 2 more times. And if you want to stay in that exhale position, you can, depending on your body. And when the body says it's time to come out, let's come forward. Let's go ahead and bring the hands to the floor. We're about to move into cow face pose. So you want your right heel to be toward your left hip, and you want to cross the left knee over the right. You want your heels to be as close toward your hips as possible, and your knees to be stacked one on top of the other, if possible. You can also raise your hips if needed, and if they're a little further apart, it's absolutely fine. Okay, so since your left leg is crossed over the right, let's lift that right hand toward the sky. Bending that right elbow as the palm comes toward the shoulder blades, and bring that left hand around toward the back. If the fingers can touch, let me show you what it looks like from behind. If the fingers can touch, wonderful. If they can't, then you might use a strap in between the hands or a little belt. Now see if you can relax into the pose, finding where the body needs to be. And then as you exhale, we'll bring the hands down to the toes and we'll round over the legs. Feel the chin release into the knee, even if it doesn't touch it. Feel your back, your hips. And then you can lift your head and your chest. When you find this pose, what we're going to end up doing from here is just moving your right heel a little further away from your left hip. We're going to stack the left ankle on top of the right knee. Now you want your ankles and your knees to be stacked somewhere one on top of the other. Now the knees and the ankles may not ever touch. This is called fire log pose, and it's really intense in the hips. See if you can open the chest. And maybe you exhale and hinge a bit. Oh, do you feel that? Breathe into it. And then as you breathe in, you can lift your head and your chest. Let's go ahead and place that left heel close to the right hip, and we'll cross that right knee over the left knee. And we're going to try doing the other side in this cow face pose. Inhaling the left hand toward the sky, bending that elbow, sweeping the right hand around to the back, and maybe here you notice how you feel different between both sides of the body. Remember not to push. Do breathe. Take an inhale. And as you exhale, slowly releasing the hands down, maybe to the ankles as you round over. Feel the release in the spine, making any necessary adjustments. And then we'll try cow face pose on the other side. So you can lift your head and your chest, moving that left heel just a little further away from the hip, placing that right ankle on top of the left knee. Knees and ankles stacked one on top of the other, whether they touch or not. Soften through the hips. And again, this is going to be a really intense pose within the hip sockets. It doesn't matter if that knee is pointed up. If you feel the sensation, breathe into it. And maybe you exhale and hinge if the body allows. And then you can lift, coming all the way up, uncrossing the legs. Let's go ahead and scoot a little further forward on your mat as you bring the back down to the floor and the knees in toward the chest. Rocking a little side to side, realigning the spine. You can lift both heels toward the sky, holding behind the thighs, holding behind the ankles, or holding the toes. Here is your symmetrical posture that we will be closing with. See if you can try and flatten your lower back into the mat. You can even tuck the chin in toward the chest. What if we bring a little abdominal strengthener into this pose? Let's leave both heels toward the sky and let both arms come alongside of your ears. Take an inhale. And as you exhale, bring your forehead toward the knees and your arms alongside of the hips. Inhale, opening up, following your breath. Let's do it 4 more times. Exhaling into the gentle crunch, squeezing the navel in. Inhaling and opening up. Exhaling into the crunch. Inhaling and opening up. 1 more time. Exhale, you can move into it, and if you want to stay here, you can. If you want to open back up, you can. When the body says enough, then bend the knees, relax the head to the floor. Bring the feet down, extending your legs along the floor. Your hands at your sides with the palms facing the sky. As you slowly come into stillness. You've practiced hard, staying focused and connected with your breath. Now is the time to let go. Toes release. Legs and the muscles release. The arms and the shoulders, almost as if they're weightless. The jaw is unclenched. The eye sockets are relaxed. And your forehead is smooth. Just let go. And you can always stay longer if you'd like. When you're ready to begin moving, you can find gentle and subtle movements, deepening the breath. You can come into a little tuck, a little squeeze, and maybe you rock a little, taking your time to roll to one side. The slower you wake your body up, the more mindful, the more aware you'll feel, connected with yourself. And remember, you're always building and finding yourself, creating that relationship, building flexibility, mind and body. Thanks for practicing with us. Namaste.